So we're going to cook a delicious lamb chop dish, which is from the north of India. It's robust, it's full of flavour, it's fantastic. So in goes a little oil. And I'm going to put my whole spices first. We always do put our whole spices in first, and it just allows the flavours to be released into the oil, and it just permeates the entire dish. So cloves, cinnamon, bay leaves, and some black peppercorns. You allow that to sizzle for about just 5 to 10 seconds. You can hear it crackling already. In go my sliced onions. So the onions are really lovely and caramelized. Can you see they're getting a bit brown, and some of them are a bit darker than others, which is absolutely fine. Caramelized onions have this sort of almost bitter sweetness, which go really well with lamb. So in go our chops, which I've trimmed of all the extra fat. If you can brown those a little bit in the onions, just to get a bit of the caramelization, that almost sweet charred flavour onto them. You can already smell the lamb and the onions and the spices coming out. It already smells like a meal. So these are done. So I've got my garlic paste, which I basically did by grating my garlic on the microplane grater, which is a fantastic way of doing it. In go lots of julienne ginger, green chilies, which go beautifully in this dish. Now, if you like green chilies, the flavour, but not the heat, just pierce them with the tip of a knife and put them in whole, and all the seeds and the membranes, which contain most of the heat, just remain within the chili, so they don't make the whole thing really spicy. So in that goes. So a bit of coriander powder, which is really zesty and zingy. It's not really a strong spice. Bit of salt. Bit of turmeric for colour and health. Bit of cumin, which goes really beautifully with lamb. And dried pomegranate powder. Now, this is from a different variety of pomegranate that we normally eat as a fruit, but it's absolutely amazing with lamb. It's sort of tangy and really beautiful. So I'll give this a stir. Now, you can at any stage add a bit of water if you think the whole thing's going to burn. And all I'm going to add in now are my tomatoes. And again, because this is a really rustic dish, I'm just almost going to just cut them into wedges and let them cook into the sauce. You can blend these to a paste and then it just all cooks into a smoother curry, but I like this quite rustic. A really good stir to mix all those flavours. A little bit more water to help the lamb cook. And bring it to the boil and turn it up. Whenever you add water to a dish, we always bring it to the boil before we cook it out. It's almost like you need to cook out the rawness of that water before you let the whole thing cook. So I'm turning it down and covering it. Just keep coming back every 8-10 minutes to just give it a stir and make sure everything's cooking really nicely. So this has been cooking for about 35 minutes, and we don't really cook our lamb pink in India. We sort of let it cook really gently until it's tender and almost falling off the bone. So that's where we're at here. Now at this stage, I'm going to turn the heat up and I'm going to cook off all that extra moisture in the pan, caramelizing all these flavours together. It requires a bit of stirring. I'm going to add in some garam masala. This just gives a real hint of aroma, so when you present it on the table, it's got these amazing flavours. So in that goes. God, beautiful. That sauce is just getting really lovely and intense, and I can see by the colour that it's browning and it's getting a different level of intensity of flavour. Okay, just going to break off some coriander and give it a quick chop and stir that in. Now, I'm going to have a taste before I plate up. Very good. I think my tomatoes are a bit sweet, so I'm going to add a bit of lemon juice. And done. Beautiful. And there we have delicious Punjabi lamb chops.